Thursday. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think we're live, guys. It is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles. And what? It's Monday, the 22nd of January, AD 2024. And what are we going to talk about today? Have a loosey-goosey Hake report show. What's that?
Echo fixed.
Okay, thank you. And the echo has been fixed, guys. There may have been an echo there, but it's fixed. Sweet. And other than being a loosey-goosey, Hakey show, what will we talk about? I have some beautiful music, Soul Junk Sunday, Menomena Monday, Nimarata. Trump called her that. Those old CNN headlines. Maybe a little bit of a little bit more Trump simping, and you guys can call in if you disagree with me, or if you agree with me, or if you just want to comment on it or ask me about it. That's cool. You are welcome to. Come on. Don't be shy. Ron DeSantis ended his campaign. Biden is for abortion. There's a Kyle hater out there, and some other mess going on in the world. So anyway, guys, let's just have a fun loosey-goosey Hakey Hake show. Let's get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake. Oh, it's the Hake report. The Hake report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake report. The Hake report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I just had to remember to tweet out my video of today's show. I tried to tweet out a Saturday version of the Hake report. What a mess. There's no such thing as Saturday Hake. And is it me, or am I hearing the breeze? I feel like I'm hearing the breeze from the fan over the mic. Maybe it shouldn't be pointed right at me. That's funny. Okay. Thank you, man. I still hear it. No, I don't, but I don't think it's that now. Oh, I wonder if he has a hot mic. Anyway.
It's your video, it's your background.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, okay.
Those videos have a little bit of...
That's, yes, indeed. Okay. How you guys doing? I'm fine. I'm wearing a nice Forest Home t-shirt, 1938, Forest Home Outfitters. Nice, huh? Okay, fine. Let's get started here. Nimarata. Trump called her Nimarata. Hake, your phone going in and out and echo. I don't think that's the case anymore. It's fixed. It's fixed. I hear the waves, says Renee. Okay, interesting. It's the side effects of your bad music. So I saw these CNN Commie Nonsense Network headlines last week, and they were saying Trump deploys racist dog whistles as he ups his attacks on Haley. And Haley, they mean Nikki, okay? Nikki Haley. In the good old days, we referred to women by their first name so as not to confuse them with their husbands who were known by their last name. Okay, so Nikki Haley. Who? Mr. Haley? Who's Mr. Haley? And so Trump escalated his attacks on Nikki Haley as he sought a New Hampshire knockout. And this woman, Breonna Taylor, rolls the tape on Trump's racist language. He referred to her as Nimarata. You know, all you guys, all you racists are referring to Nikki Haley as a Nimarata. Or you call her Nimrod. Don't call her that. That's her name. Nimarata. You hear my fan, Hake, says Coffee Tungsten. And so Commie Nonsense Network is calling it a racist dog whistle. Or they were calling it a racist dog whistle. Because you call her, that's her first name, right? And he used to call Obama, I think, I know that JLP did, Barack Hussein Obama. Barack Hussein Obama. And that's supposedly a racist dog whistle, because voters don't want somebody named Hussein, nor do they want somebody called Nimarata. This is America. Why not have an American name? The Chinese are jealous of each other when one has a Chinese name and the other one has an American name. How come you get an American name? They know something that all these other people don't. It's easier to say and know and recognize. I know one Chinese guy who, when he goes to Starbucks, they ask you, what's your name? And he's like, John. His name is not John, but he just says John because it's easier, more convenient. An easy way to function in an American world. Just be Americanized. In other words, they're calling it racist to be normal, to want your country to remain the American nation. Ridiculous. So he referred to her as Nimarata. And so the CNN is trying to mind read Trump as, and maybe they're right, that Trump knows that we don't want Nimarata. She has foreign false values. You heard her on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. If you were caught Jesse Lee Peterson's show today, there was a clip of Nikki Haley being interviewed by two female so-called journalists on like CNN or somewhere. Sitting down, sitting all pretty. I don't know if they lightened her up. She's all, I was made fun of every day for being brown. Well, guess what? If you're a nerd, you're going to get made fun of. And she sounds like she was a nerd. Doesn't she? And they're going to point out your differences. If you were a redhead, or if you had freckles on your nose and holes in your shoes, they'll call you freckle face. They'll call you whatever. Give me a break. You're just mad at human nature for being human nature? And it's not even that bad? Please. And so she has a mission to fight bullying by being a bully and tearing down the beautiful Confederate rebel flags, or whatever those things were. That harkens back to the good old days of the beautiful South. In some form, those were the good old days. I know there was a big war and 600,000 people died. That's not that good. But the rebel flag was about allowing unity. This woman tore it down because she feels sorry for the POCs, the blacks, who hate whites so much they can't stand the sight of the beautiful rebel flag. Blacks like sensible blacks, or blacks who have aren't that nasty and mean and brainwashed. They love the beautiful rebel flag. Referring to her, our greatest president, Donald Trump, criticized Nikki Haley. This is CNN Trump 3, if you have that there. Referring to her by her first name, Nimarata, because her middle name is Nikki, Nikki, or whatever. The latest incident highlights Trump's tendency to employ racist undertones, meaning Trump is a normal American, just like anybody else and from any other country. They want to pretend nationalism is wrong. They want to pretend being normal is wrong if you're white, or if you're American and pro-America and you don't hate whites and you want whites to run their own country. And so this gal who's in this picture, if you're looking, CNN's Brianna Kalar, analyzes Trump's track record of embracing racially charged rhetoric. Well, good for you, Trump. Is good on you like a proper way of saying that? Good for you, Trump. Nice. One brilliant thing about our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. You can call in, by the way, guys. 888-77-JESSE. 1-888-775-3773. I'm done with that. Thank you, Hassan. One brilliant thing about President Trump, he does not attack those who are not attacking him. Have you noticed that? Whoa, pardon me. So he loved Kanye West way back in the day, several years ago, when no one else did, it seemed like. Remember Kanye West was attacking, he stole the show, he stole the spotlight from, what's her name? Taylor Swift. Turned out I never should have been for, I never should have taken Taylor's side, or not so much that I took Taylor Swift's side, but I didn't really like Kanye doing that. He's like, I'm gonna let you finish. I think that, because she won some award, right? I think, who should have won it? Beyonce. Beyonce should have won something for best video or something. Best music video or something. Because Beyonce is a popular singer. Talented, I hear. And so she should have won it. I took that to mean I'm black, and I think the black woman, and it's, I guess Beyonce's sort of black, sort of. She's Creole. I think Joelle Friday's more black than she is. I could be wrong. Yeah? No? They're Creole. They're both Creole. I don't know, they're about the same. Let's call them. But she doesn't seem that. Joelle Friday seems more black than her. In that Joelle Friday has, a black person hair. His hair is kind of, curly, like a black. Her hair is not curly like a black, or is it? Underneath there. Her face is all. I don't know. I don't even know if I would really recognize her face. But that's why I did not like Kanye for that. And he also said George Bush hates black people, or doesn't care about black people. Yeah, Beyonce's face. I can't really distinguish her face. It's sort of just this smooth. It's sort of just this smooth face that's kind of nondescript. It's a great face, says Hassan. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's not. But anyway. I should have taken Kanye's side against George W. Bush, too. Because George W. Bush turned out to be lame, and so did evil Taylor Swift, who started talking about politics several years later. But anyway, the point was, the right-wingers were not liking Kanye at that point. And this is before Kanye came out, at least openly, in favor of Trump. Trump is all, I never had a problem with Kanye. Somebody asked him about him. I'm like, that is interesting. Because, it's easy to hate somebody. Oh my gosh, Hake, are you saying you don't know Beyonce wears wigs? No, I do not know that Beyonce wears wigs. Don't say that if you don't know it to be true. Well, maybe it is true. Wait, that's not Beyonce's real hair? Come on, doesn't matter. That made me realize, that's like a wisdom thing. There's no reason to attack Kanye West. Didn't have it. Him doing that too, or being a little bit out of sorts, maybe out of line, out of order with Taylor Swift, or with he said that George W. Bush doesn't like black people because George W. Bush didn't send in the military to save the blacks from the Hurricane Katrina came and went, and then the levees broke and flooded the area, and then the bunch of blacks died somehow. Down in Louisiana, New Orleans. he might have been a little out of order. I don't know. He's just a wild person. That's how he is. He speaks his mind and he takes the mic. Even on live TV, he was on live TV probably both those times. I'm not sure that he said those things. And he just pops off at the mouth. Hey, it has nothing to do with me. Why would I, who am I to attack him for that, criticize him? I could say, oh, he's wrong about that. But hey, I have no personal issue. Nice, Trump. Another thing about Trump, along those lines, him waving that gay flag that Nugget Man brought up. Remember he waved? I vaguely remember. I can picture a picture of him holding this gay flag at the end of a stage. And what I picture went on, and I don't know, I've never looked into it, was that some gays were off to the side at the front, close to the stage, waving their gays for Trump thing. And I picture it, but don't know. And I mentioned this on the Friday, that it was after the Pulse thing, the nightclub shooting, because that happened during the campaign of 2016. And so these gays were liking Trump, even though they're wrong for being all openly not morally straight and proud of it. They were liking Trump. And so what does he do? He loved them back, or he liked them back when the Christians shunned them. To us, to you and me, we take umbrage at that flag, that rainbow flag, because it means radical homosexual mess and the gay agenda and propaganda. I do not avow it. I disavow it, Ned Post. I just block it out. What flag, says Nada? I do disavow that flag, but think about it. Trump doesn't necessarily see the flag the way we see it. We see it as an attack on Christians. That's a nasty attack on Christians, just to have that flag. And it's an attack on common sense and morality. It's a vulgar thing to see. Trump may not see it that way, and he's loving them back when they're loving him, when the Christians would shun them. Doesn't it remind you kind of Jesus? Jesus would hang out with I don't think that he flew. I don't think that Jesus waved around the prostitute flag or the tax collector flag, but he hung out with them, right? The tax collectors and sinners and prostitutes. It's R-worded, retarded Ray, to have a gay flag. No one walks around with a heterosexual flag. And even that word, I disavow that word. Meaning normal flag in your face and say straight power, says Adam87. I know. Charlie Church, angry face emoji. They purposely stole the rainbow from the Christian people. Yeah. Maybe so. But Jesus hung out with those, and then the Pharisees, the judgmental Christians at the time that weren't Christians, they were Jewish people or whatever, were like, he hangs around with tax collectors and sinners and prostitutes. Isn't that interesting? They're liking him, he doesn't reject them. Christ like Trump. You like how I turned that around? Him waving the rainbow flag to him being like Jesus? Trump? Or is that too far? Is that a stretch? I don't think that it's quite a stretch, honestly. There was this throwback that I saw of our greatest president, and then I might be done with the Trump simping, okay? Pardon my, I'm knocking everything. I knocked the mic just now. Don't hang out with prostitutes and sinners, kids. Yeah. There was a throwback clip that I saw on a short in his YouTube shorts. I don't really peruse IG, how some of these people do. Joel Friday TV does. Catch him in an hour and 40 minutes, roughly. I peruse YouTube. YouTube is more manly. I saw this clip from like the 80s or 90s, I guess. I don't know. Our greatest president, before he was president, being interviewed by, I think it was David Letterman. Might not be a Christian, certainly a liberal. Not exactly well liked by conservative people, I don't think. And he doesn't really like us either, I don't think. But anyway. And Trump defended Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, you know, the boxer who interviewed JLP, but the powers that be didn't put that episode out on Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was accused and convicted of the R word. Not the one that I just said earlier this hour, but ape Ray. Oh, that was not a personal attack, Raymond 11. And by the way, there's somebody else I need to unban. He was accused of rape. And so I hear Trump, younger Donald Trump, saying, this case doesn't make sense. She shows up at his room, his hotel room or something like that, at 1 o'clock in the morning. 1 o'clock in the morning. And so what does David Letterman do? I don't want to go in all over this case again. Why are you getting nervous, man? Why are you getting nervous? Don't speak Pig Latin, kids. Yeah, I accidentally said rape without Pig Latinizing it. Ape Ray. Trump knows false accusations. Any famous man is going to know false accusations, smears, terrible lies, and vindictive personal attacks from ancient history of from people who are putting it out like it's anybody else's business but your own. You had some issue, and you're going to speak this out and put it in a way that makes you the victim and him the offender. The powerful man, right? That's what the Me Too movement was. Revenge. It wasn't just false accusations. It's also vindictiveness, a false sense of justice, a false sense of, oh, this is other people's business. They need to know about this person. Oh, I'm going to protect other women from being victimized by him, by this. Or women and gays, by the way. There are gays who are accusing people. Like that guy who's a good actor, I think. He was in House of Cards, which I never saw. Kevin Spacey. He was accused by at least one gay. And the gays that do that to each other are like crazy. They could just start 10 years from now, they could start accusing each other of that stuff. Couldn't they? And women too. Women do that stuff like crazy. They're touchy, crazy. Take liberties with hitting because they know they can't really hurt you that bad, or sometimes they can. And take liberties with touching. Crazy. Those people are the most bothering, as in molesting people, women and the gays, aren't they? Once in a while, a so-called normal male who's not so-called gay will do something, and then the whole world ends. I'm shaking my head. So good for Trump for defending Mike Tyson. I remember I feel like I saw a tweet that Trump said Mike Tyson was railroaded. Mike Tyson, the famous black guy who was a boxer back in the day. You can still kind of box to this day. Because he knew. And people in the comments, because I like to read the YouTube comments, were saying Trump's a loyal man. And also he speaks his mind. Whatever the public opinion is, he speaks his mind, even if it goes against public opinion or political correctness. How can you not appreciate that? How can you not love that? That's bigger and more important than the wall, than the vax, which the vax was great. Great and terrible. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. It's bigger than the world peace, peace in the Middle East. I'll put that as the three things. That's greater than Julian Assange not getting, and Edward Snowden not getting pardoned. Like you would really expect him to do that. It's greater than the Second Amendment. It's greater than the abortion topic. Because white, older, politically, on the political stage, white men not telling the truth and standing their ground and being themselves has been a terrible spiritual oppression or suppression in America. I don't care about Roe v. Wade, although I do appreciate the men who struck it down and who argued against it, because it was a dumb thing. Shouldn't have had. You know, today it would have turned 51 years old. Happy birthday, Roe v. Wade. You're dead. Rest in peace. But there is no peace for the liberals, and Trump used to be very pro so-called choice, very pro-choice. And then according to him, he had a grandkid and changed his mind. Isn't that nice? Now he's for the exceptions. And I disagree with him about the exceptions. You know, the R word, ape ray, incest A. I just said the word. And life of the mother. Nice. Right on. I'll get more to the evil Roe v. Wade thing. But in contrast, Ron DeSantis, in contrast to our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, a speaker of his mind extraordinaire, hold to it, independent thinker extraordinaire, Ron DeSantis ended his campaign. Wah, wah. Do we have any Ron DeSantis supporters? If you're a Ron DeSantis supporter, in the chat, press 1. I would like to see. I don't know if there's a single Ron DeSantis supporter in my chat, although I know some on Twitter, and I know some whom I used to listen to, and they're now for Trump, because they're sensible. But there is some of and there were guys who've been on the J.C. Lee Peterson show who I cracked a little bit. I'm growing. The J.C. Lee Peterson show who were Ron DeSantis supporters. Who's that guy? Pedro Gonzalez, I think is his name. Independent journalist. Just I don't want to say soft-spoken, but just seemingly even keel guy. Been on Tucker Carlson's show before he got booted from Fox News, faux news. That guy, he turned kind of nasty towards Trump supporters. Maybe they're nasty towards him. Devil's fighting, I guess. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, because when you read people's statements on Twitter, it sounds nastier than maybe they mean it. Or maybe I'm interpreting it as nastier. I'm reading the nastiness into it. So that could be. But the DeSantis supporters seem kind of nasty. Let me see any ones. -1. What does that mean, Raymond? 2 if you're not. 3 if you, I kind of liked him, but it's not his time. I put a 3 on Ron DeSantis. I kind of liked him, but Hake doesn't like Twitter's tone. Yeah. I kind of like DeSantis. I have nothing really against him, but he's not Trump. And his resignation speech proved it. So he ended his campaign yesterday, and good for him for doing that. And he put out this video on X, now known as Twitter, and I saw it because I got some push notification. Megyn Kelly, you know Megyn Kelly, she's a former journalist. Now she's maybe still a so-called journalist. You know, talented speaker, mildly attractive gal, family woman, but she's somehow still working, whatever. She said, oh, he's a class act. Maybe he'll be good for 2028. He has a long way to go. Hopefully he does, but I don't have high hopes. So in this speech, I don't have the video for you, but he's wearing a smile. And you can barely see his eyes. You know these people who, when they smile, their eyes disappear almost? And he's reciting these political cliches that I can't even remember any of them. But they just make your eyes roll, make you roll your eyes. You're like, yeah. It's like he's running for class president, you know? There were class presidents who did better speeches. I know some of them. They've been on my show. Like high school. X, formerly known as Twitter. Did I say now known as Twitter? Thank you. Come on, man. And then he does this. Ron DeSantis. Casey and I, is that his wife? That's it. Think that's his wife's name. Casey and I traveled around the country. And then he said something like, we prayerfully decided, he and his wife. Why is he mentioning his wife? We prayerfully decided to end my campaign because he didn't want to abuse all your money and time that you guys supporting my campaign have helped you, the campaign workers, right? Showing appreciation. That's nice. It's classy. He's a class act. More like a teacher's pet. We prayerfully decided to end. Casey and I traveled. We spread this message. Why is he including his wife? He's running for president. Don't be a kiss up. Can you imagine Trump saying, Melania and I traveled and we prayerfully decided that I should run for president, that we should run for president. Give me a break. Hake treats the presidency like a popularity contest. Yes, duh. Not exactly, though. I'm talking about the spiritual things. He mentioned that Trump is a victim of lawfare, which is true, the DeSantis did. And he said, no go on Nikki Haley. Nice. Right on. I knew you would fall in line, Ron DeSantis. Why do you guys call him Zion Ron? Oh, I know why. Zion Ron. And then he gave some Winston Churchill quote. There was something else that he might have done that I am not remembering, but it was maybe I rarely want to throw up, right? Maybe want to like spit a little bit. I at least rolled my eyes and shook my head a little bit when I heard him saying, oh, Casey and I. That's so phony. Let me show off my wife. Never mind the policies if you like the dude, says Charlie Church. That's not exactly true, Charlie Church, but I'll answer you later. I'll get to you later, Ms. Church. Or Mr. Church, let me not dox the gender of Charlie Church. No, Hake, that's a sin. Is it a fake Winston Churchill quote? I don't even know if it was. The ADL does not back DeSantis. Are you serious, Saloe? If the ADL knew what was good for the Jews, they would support our greatest president, Trump. But no. And they would support the whites. They would support White History Month. Because they would be about love, loving white people, not hating them. ADL. I feel like I can tell Ron DeSantis is like, what do you guys, I don't call him Meatball Ron because I'm not a vulgar person and I find that vulgar, to paraphrase our greatest president, Trump. Spittoon, gross. I feel like your eyes get beady if you're Italian, maybe Jewish, Chinese. Anyway, thank you, Ron DeSantis. And to address what's her name's thing before I get to evil Biden. Oh, yes, they do, Hake. Really? Really? So the ADL they back him. I don't think that they back him on the book bans. The ADL does not back Ron DeSantis on the book bans. I'll tell you that much. Because the book bans, you know how Ron DeSantis is going after the so-called woke, I hate that word, edge of mommification stuff, trying to brainwash the children into LGBT, the racism lie, which they don't admit that it's racism itself is an entire lie, just smearing the whites for being normal like everybody else. In some ways better than others. I don't think that ADL supports him for those reasons. Where are you getting this, man? Why am I believing the chat? The chat tells me stuff that is factual sometimes, but sometimes the chat can be wrong. So again, Mrs. Church, she doxed her gender. Mrs. Church, I think what's happening is many people who think that what I'm doing is engaging in Trump worship or Trump simping. They may not appreciate the spiritual things. They may not see things spiritually. Because did I not just express that Trump speaks the truth as he sees it and stands by it and comes up with independent ideas such as, which I disavow this, but can't we just put a moat with alligators or have man the border with like guns and, you know, like oot shay, the invaders to speak in pig Latin, because I disavow shooting people when it's not quite justified. He comes up with these different ideas. Can't we just bomb such and such thing? Trump. He comes up with these ideas, putting out ideas in a discussion. You come out with a kooky idea and then you refine it into being a good idea. And off the wall ideas, sometimes how you come up with the solution. And then you get to the solution. You're coming up with the solution. Hey, come on, man. Acting like Trump is this spiritual guy is the biggest cope ever. How is it a cope when no other politician is real like him? This is what I think is going on. I think you guys, the Trump haters on the right, are just spiritually blind to the fact that this man is, and I think it's true because a lot of you guys are, it kind of coincides. It's like if you drew a Venn diagram of the people who just don't get it, don't get Jesse on the spiritual things, also don't get Trump on the spiritual aspect of Trump. So, you know, a Venn diagram where there's an overlap. I think that's maybe what it is. It's the simplicity. Whereas DeSantis, he's not ready. He's clearly not ready. I saw that speech, and I'm like, yes, you did the right thing by suspending your campaign. Probably never should have run this time around in the first place. Never apologize for Trump worship. Don't let the lefties make you doubt your allegiance to what's right, says Carver531. I know, these are right-wingers, supposedly. Mrs. Church, and Kevin Howe. Real, recognize real, says John Frederick. By the way, did you guys, you super chatters, I'm gonna get to some super chats right now, but did you guys see my video? I need the air back on me. Point the breeze back on me, please. Por favor. 444 means thank, please, in Spanish. Yeah, turn this thing towards me. I used to think por favor was saying 444 when I was a kid. Pass the salt, 444. I did a little special video. Thank you. I did a little special video for the supporters, for the people who support me on Subscribestar, on Substack, Locals. I don't think there's anybody who supports me on Locals, and I don't blame you. But shout out to Locals. I think our resident historian, Asmodor, may be on Locals. I should check that out. TheHakeReport.locals.com. So let me see. I don't see him. Okay. And the people who donated coffees to me. You eat very strange lunches, but I was entertained. It was sort of a Locals sounds like a dating app, says Radulaser. It was sort of like a brunch or a late morning snack that I did that. I was eating beets, carrots, ginger, a little bit of, cucumber, half a cucumber, a little bit of supposed kimchi, which is basically just food coloringed sauerkraut. And the remainder of 1/3 of an apple. Hake, do you sleep with a fan on your face? No. But it's warm in here. So enjoy. Thank you guys for the support. I even gave it to the people who've only super chatted once to Hake over on Buy Me a Coffee. Isn't that cool? So, right on. More super chats. Based America First. Over here on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. January 19th, which was Friday. Reporters asked Sleepy Joe, it's Crooked Joe now, it's Crooked Joe, about the Mayorkas impeachment. Biden replied that he doesn't understand it. I don't understand it, man. But hasn't believed the border is secure for 10 years. Wow. Wouldn't that include 3 under Obama and 3 under Joe Obama? Channeling the, Joe Obama being Obama Part 2, which is the evil Biden administration. Channeling the big guy, Biden said, give me the money. Then he explained that securing the border means hiring additional people to process more asylum claims. That's not securing the border. That's facilitating the invasion. Give me the money. Give me the money. He's talking about Congress. Give me the money. The Schumer-Lankford border bill, Lankford, increases the green card annual limit by 50,000 people, I think. Annual limit. Grants a work permit to every illegal released from custody, but supposedly reduces catch and release average to 35,000 per week. That's not very, that's a lot. Catch and release. Reduces it, quote unquote. CBP, Customs and Border Protection, probably just stops catching after reaching their weekly quota. Interesting. So they just stop looking. You might be right about that. Oh, I've caught that. That's my 35,000. That's a lot in a week. The recorded rate would admit about 9 million more illegals through Sleepy Joe's second term. Arizona voters must prove citizenship to vote in their state elections. Wow. Otherwise, they receive a federal-only ballot. Eyes emoji, looking emoji. Surely this option can't be abused. And that sounds like sarcasm, last line there from Base America First. Thank you for the news update. Ridiculousness at the border. Someone bought a coffee saying, what was your experience like when you went and forgave your parents? Were you shaking in your boots? How did the experience impact you? Asks someone. I was not shaking in my boots. I was not wearing boots. And I was sitting there in the room with them. I did pause. I'm like, and I'm wrong. I judged you and I'm wrong. How did the experience impact you? Remains to be seen. You got to keep on living. You got to keep on living. Amazing Asia bought a coffee. Yeah, DeSantis is the type of male, M-A-L-E, to tell everyone we're pregnant instead of just saying my wife is pregnant. And then she has a male fat belly holding his belly like it's pregnant emoji, eye roll emoji, laughing face sideways with tears coming out emoji. Nasty. Thank you, Amazing Asia. Exactly. That's just lame-o kiss-up stuff, kissing up to women and kissing up. It's like almost showing off, oh, I have a wife. She and I. Just feeding her ego, your own ego, I guess, maybe, and the female voters' egos, and it's a turnoff, makes us want to spit the males. Ridiculous. Casey and I travel. I don't care if she traveled with you. It's you or nobody. You know what I mean? I am remiss in not reading this super chat from Friday. Gregatron donated on Streamlabs. The neglected, redheaded stepchild of super chat platforms. A la D-Live. Gregatron donated saying, Hake, did you ever play Gauntlet while growing up? My siblings and I, wow, don't dox it, you have siblings, used to love Gauntlet, Dark Legacy, on Xbox. Wow. How old, don't dox your age, Gregatron, but how old are you that you guys got to play Xbox? It had 8 playable characters. The Warrior, the Wizard, Archer, Dwarf, Sorceress, Knight, Jester, and Valkyrie. Valkyrie. Oops. A Valkyrie is one of a host of female figures, whoa, who guide souls of the dead to the god Odin's hall Valhalla. They're the deceased warriors, something or other. Huh, okay, so I'm glad I didn't pick Valkyrie because I didn't realize that that was a woman, as a female. Archer seems cool. Who would you be, asks Gregatron. Well, to answer your question, no, I never played Gauntlet. Never heard of it other than Run the Gauntlet. You run in between these people and they hit you as much as they can. And if you survive, you're initiated. Something like that. Run the Gauntlet. So his brothers and sisters and he, or whatever, used to love Gauntlet Dark Legacy on Xbox. I never played I don't know if I've ever played Xbox in my life. I was like 8th grade, freshman year, and we barely got regular Nintendo. We did not have... At Grandma's house, we had the Atari. The Atari, you know? Pitfall. Stuff like that. Asteroids. Later, we took it up to Big Bear and would play Combat. Combat. That was fun. But yeah, so we got, and everybody else had Nintendo and then Super Nintendo and then N64 and then Xbox, and then PlayStation, and PlayStation 2, and then GameCube, and all these other things. And I never had any of that. We did later when I was in college. We finally got PlayStation 1, I guess. Years after everybody else had other ones. So which one would I be? Warrior, wizard, archer, dwarf, sorceress, knight, jester. Oh gosh, don't tell me that I'm gonna be a jester. Don't tell me that I'm gonna be a jester. No, people had, my cousins had, oops, I doxed that I had cousins. Just kidding. They had Nintendo when I was like 4 or 5. Okay, I like warrior. Wizard is too old. Archer is cool, but the archers that I've seen are kind of weird. And many times women are archers is for some odd reason, even though they don't have good depth perception, but they're good at archery somehow. Dwarf is like too short and strong and stocky. Sorceress, that's a woman, so I can't be that. And knight, I'll be a knight. You guys would probably label me a jester because you think I'm your clown. A jester for Trump, says Mrs. Charlie Church. Whatever, Charlie Church, laughing face emoji with tears. Whatever. Hake grew up poor. I was definitely not spoiled. I was spoiled, but yet not spoiled. I didn't have a spoiled attitude. I didn't have sugar cereal until a little bit later. And even that, it wasn't the really good kind of sugar cereal. I did not get to play, I didn't get to watch TV whenever I wanted. I had to ask to turn it on. I rarely asked. I didn't get to play video games. Hake is a berserker. Berserker? Nice. That sounds cool. I like warrior, but I don't like war. Archer, but I'm not that good at it. I feel like I have a good aim. Probably knight. I like knight. I would be knight. Nice. Thank you, Gregatron. Amazing Asia says, did you see the rally in New Hampshire when Trump brought out his South Carolina supporters? The last guy to speak had the best speech. I was super into it. Did anyone else see it? Were you hooting and hollering like me? LOL, lots of laughs. No, I didn't watch it. I'm not that into Trump. I like him. I so appreciate him. You know, what I just described to you with saying that guy was railroaded, Mike Tyson. It taught me a lesson when he didn't go after Kanye West. This is before Kanye came out openly supporting him. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some I assume are good people. I loved that. And he never backed down from that when he first announced, June 2015. I loved the Charlottesville thing, standing against the tearing down of the monuments. There's very fine people on both sides. There was violence on many sides. What about the alt-left? He's the only one to really tell the truth about that. And I love the fact that he doesn't back down from the big lie. The big lie. He's proven right about so many things. And he just is an independent thinker and stands his ground on it. So that I really appreciate. But I don't really keep up with his rallies. I don't follow everything he does. And he doesn't tweet that much, so I don't really get notified, although I somewhat do. So, nice. But I'm not against checking out his rallies. And it sounds like it was a nice speech. There's sometimes some deep things that go on. Oh, man. Okay. Callers, I'm going to get to you. You can call in 1-888-775-3773. It's Soul Junk Sunday on a Monday. Sunday left over into Monday. Soul Junk is a Christian band, sort of hip-hop. Oh, it's not in there? Okay, let me... Oh, I didn't... You're right. I didn't drag it in there. Okay, I'm dragging it in now. Soul Junk, kind of weird, but it's Christian music from the 2000 album 1956. They have a bunch of different albums in different styles. And this track is entitled Pumpfake. Soul-Junk is the name of the band. I hope you enjoy it, you musical Philistines. If you refresh, you should see it. Pumpfake is the name. It's less than 4 minutes long, and I'll be right back for hour 2. Enjoy Pumpfake by Soul-Junk, you musical Philistines. Hang tight.
Checking if your church got built by a man. Liquidate the physical and see what still stands. Cause if your church not made with hands, indivisible, one mind, invisible, that's right. Checking if your church got built by a man. Let's liquidate the physical and see what still stands. Cause if your church not made with hands, indivisible, one mind, invisible, that's right. I see what you call the church getting chubby in the waist. So if I ain't to your taste, have some peace, take some grace. But let's get the inner tube out religion's middle, where tradition reigns supreme and the spirit second fiddle. These live their life under some milk and chewing the cud. That's why it's time for eat my flesh and drink my blood, or you have no part in me. Say that artfully so these can depart from me if they cannot shut that sea. Met the place while the face can just fade. I live this, that's why I see through the charade. Why try to bluff when every card gets played? You have the beautiful appearance of a whitewashed grave. Build cathedrals to yourselves, Euro Nana. Right at home in Babylon. These the pious prima donnas, rich young rulers for priests and lawyers for scholars. Still you can't contain my God with big books or top dollar. And if your church got built by a man, let's liquidate the physical and see what still stands. Cause if your church not made with hands, indivisible, one mind, invisible, that's right. And if your church got built by a man, let's liquidate the physical, let's see what still stands. Cause if your church not made with hands, indivisible, one mind, invisible, that's right. Brothers and sisters, hold the transistors. I insist we get more than just mist in the midst of this vista. The view to the true worship hullabaloo. I go blue in the face, try to huff like they do. Puffin' fumes come with forms, keep the formula warm. Some confused in the cloud. With the eye of the storm, swarm the flock, pop the lock off the stock in the barrel. So hermetically sterile, you all don't see the peril. As in paralyzed up from the eyes. Think we numb as in slumber, try pinching us twice. It goes one for your mind, it goes two for your money. I live deep in the spirit and these clowns think they're funny. And really it is to think all visible life hinges on the invis. I send this up the charts relentless to Dan Cruz, who's legendary like Beamers and Benzes. Checking if your church got built by a man. Let's liquidate the physical, let's see what still stands. Cause if your church not made with hands, indivisible, one mind, invisible, that's right. Lord, in this journey called life, there ain't no other. Still I'm singing hallelujah and getting smothered by all these brothers who be stuck on the same page, trying to get their hymns played, only playing covers. So can we get the full revelation? Crank it, the inspiration, blow the lid off the old stagnation nation. Y'all been way more than patient. Now let the spirit bring true illumination. Cause if anyone's in Christ, then you a new creation. So then you reflect your creator with origination. You got the new locked up inside of you. Time to hit it with the bolt cutters, bust right through. Cause I see way too much of playing it safe. See, I'm dropping bombs, so come along, let's straight. Time to lay waste to every pretension. Sets itself up against knowing God face to face. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound to hit these demons with a little more than 4 pounds. Cause we got the ultimate in blasphemy for your satanic majesty. Check this out. God making connection with our humanity.
Wasn't that nice, guys? Oh my gosh, turn it off, says Frederick. Whatever, Frederico. Nice. Well, thank you, guys. I really like that track. Testing. Can't hear me. What did you do? Okay, I think we're back. Great song, says William. Thank you, William. Hake, you hit a new low. Why does Hake hate us so much? Pardon me. We had no sound there. We're incorporating the new stuff, and so that happens sometimes. Yeah. So shout out to Soul Junk. It's catchy and interesting to me. I heard about them from Decapolis. All right. Couple more super chats before I get back to calls and perhaps stories. Okay. Amazing Asia. I saw that you got another one or two in there. Quick question: do you live in your car? If not, explain those frozen Tyson chicken nuggets? ? Tyson is the worst meat company ever. They named the company Tyson because all their products are made from different animals' ears. Facepalm gal emoji. Okay, I'm lying about the name Tyson, but Tyson chicken? Mike Tyson. Get it? Oh, because Mike Tyson bit people's ears. Just Evander Holyfield's. I can't believe that I was for Evander Holyfield. I was like, oh, finally, a Christian. I want a Christian to win because Evander Holyfield's this big old Christian guy. And he won. But I'm so lame. LOL, says Amazing Asia. No, I do not live in my car, but I do pack my lunch and like to be prepared. And I stuck a ice pack in there to keep the chicken cold while I went out to the beach and had fun. I appreciate the appreciation, but I'd rather hear big bump. 2 G's in big. B-I-G-G. New word, B-U-M-P. Someone bought a coffee. What do you think about the Trump statement that African Americans, did he say African Americans, built this nation through generations of blood, sweat, and tears? Direct quote. The way that you've explained away the flag waving was some impressive gymnastics. I'm sure you'll come up with a way to tell us he really meant with this one. I don't know about this blood, sweat, and tears stuff, but he says we all built. I know in another thing he said we all built the country. You helped build it. The blacks. So that's... I said going into 2016 that I knew that I wouldn't agree with everything Trump said and did. Because I already know that he's basically kind of like a liberal who's come on to what's right. So, hey, doesn't faze me. Doesn't faze me. So I'm not going to hold to one time he waved some gay flag and like there's a picture of it. Or one time or 2 times or whatever, however many times, maybe he's waved the gay flag more than once. Or the 2 times or 3 times he said, oh, blacks helped build the country. Blacks built the country. We all built it. He knows the truth. You know the truth. So, please. Nice cherry picking, says Nada. Yeah, exactly. These people cherry picking. Gross, hey, gross, says Flat Earth Victory. I know. Oh, and it's an obvious globe. It's a ball Earth. It's an obvious globe. Mr. Flat Earth Victory or Ms. Flat Earth Victory. Also, none of us built it, says Alex Watts. Happened like 250 years ago by my count, says Alex Watts. Great point, man. Great point. Take the jab, says Flat Earth Victory. What are you saying, Flat Earth Victory? Is that kind of like, go take a hike, go fly a kite, go jump off a cliff, just take the jab? Is this the next thing? Sure it is, Hake. What do you mean, sure what is? I'm losing track of what you guys are responding to. But thank you, Amazing Asia, and thank you, someone. Trump is not this judgmental lame-o like some of these Christian people are. And shout out to the Christian, the fellow ones. I got to get to Ronnie in Ohio, who's been on hold for quite some time. Ronnie, thank you for calling, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm well. How you doing today?
I'm doing well as well. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I was having some conversations with people in the chat, and it was prompted by you referring to Donald Trump as the greatest president.
Our greatest president. Yeah.
Yep, and I was hoping that you could elaborate and give them some, I guess, statistics or talking points as to why you conclude that he's the best president out of the 46 that we've had.
Now, I didn't say out of the 46 that we've had because I don't know the 46. I'm referring to our a la Alex Watts, who said no current black person had any hand in it. They only take. But who is counting? Alex Watts says none of us built the country. Happened like 250 years ago. Now, some of us are building in America and some of us are destroying in America. But our greatest means the greatest president in my lifetime that I know of, as far as I can tell. He's our greatest president.
Got it. Okay, so how far back would you? How far back would your data go?
My data goes as far back as Reagan.
Okay, so
anybody Nixon might have been a little bit better than him, but I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure that everybody after Nixon, Trump is the best.
You taking Trump over Reagan?
Yeah, I think so.
And you take Trump over Obama?
Oh, easily. Obama's the worst.
Is that based on emotion or is that based on statistical data?
There's more. You're giving me a false dilemma. You notice that? Emotion and statistical data.
It could be both. It could be both. But are you saying that Trump was better than Reagan and Obama?
Okay, so you're not giving me a dilemma. It could be both emotion and statistical data. But there's stuff beyond. Stuff that's not statistical data that's not emotion either.
So yeah, there are definitely things that you can't measure that a president offers, and any of that stuff would.
There are statements. There's the standing on truth. There's the spiritual things that I mentioned.
Yeah.
Those spiritual things I mentioned earlier in this show about how he stands on the truth as he sees it and is an independent thinker, doesn't care so much what the public opinion is. He says it how he sees it. That is nowhere else in any other politician.
You don't think Obama did that?
No.
You don't think he spoke the truth? So you don't think Obama spoke the truth as he saw it and was an independent and got his ideas in an independent way?
Not at all. He was a kiss up from the beginning. He was a female-minded, atheistic type. Sorry, Lin Yan-Chen, atheist socialist.
Atheistic socialist?
No, not atheistic. I apologize. Atheist socialist. Because there's no need for the IC at the end there.
Understood. I wouldn't get into a I'm the last person that would get into a semantics argument with you.
Yeah, but he's like a.
But so you're putting Obama in the category of atheist and socialist instead of Christian and capitalist?
I wasn't thinking about capitalism. I'm thinking in terms of socialism. I'm thinking in terms of supporting the LGBT agenda, supporting the fake racism thing. I'm not thinking about capitalism versus socialism. I don't think of capitalism and socialism as being at odds. One is a stepping stone to the other.
It's a spectrum, and they're probably closer on the spectrum than anarchy or being a monarchy or being fascism. But I wouldn't say they're the same. So it's hard to categorize somebody as a socialist and a capitalist.
Oh, no, it's not.
I think that's the issue Bernie Sanders ran into, and that's why he didn't win his nomination in 2016.
Most people in America are commie capitalists, or most of these big corporations are communist capitalist corporations, anti-Christian. They're not capitalists. They're not normal capitalists.
The companies, yes. But getting back to Obama
and Obama is part of
Reagan,
that. People called Obama a corporatist, which is the same thing as, socialist, commie capitalist. It's all the same to me.
Is that because he gave them perpetual tax cuts? Or was that Trump that did that?
The tax cuts, I don't necessarily have a problem with. I think we should get rid of taxes in general. But he was into meddling in people's business. He was an
Which one was
anti-discrimination.
that?
You know, like the so-called health insurance mess that he.
Are you talking about Obama?
Obama, yeah.
You said he was in people's business.
Yeah, with health insurance, trying to force them to buy insurance and banning insurance companies from not serving people who had prior illnesses, pre-existing conditions or whatever. He was and trying to force companies to subsidize birth control and abortion and all that mess. He was definitely a commie capitalist.
And how is Trump better than Obama on healthcare? Go ahead.
Trump is for freedom. He's not for this. For one thing that he did, I think he wanted. I think he got rid of the individual mandate. Didn't he do that?
He did get rid of the individual mandate.
So
yes.
that's one point that he's better than Obama on the so-called health care. I don't think the government should be involved. Trump may disagree with me. I think he does.
So Trump was in office for 4 years.
Yeah.
Did not repeal and replace Obamacare.
You know what? You know who did? You know who undermined him on that? Do you remember?
He was the president.
Oh, you don't. So you don't know who undermined Trump on repeal and replace Obamacare?
He was the president.
Are you saying that you don't know who undermined him on that?
What I'm saying is the same opposition that Trump faced, Obama faced times 2.
No.
He couldn't even get Congress to sit. He couldn't even get Congress to sit down with him and go over a budget.
You don't know what
Trump
you're talking about, man. That's insane. So are you telling me that you don't know who undermined Trump in a dramatic fashion with the repeal and replace Obamacare? Which I didn't want to replace it. I just wanted to repeal it. Are you saying? Do you know?
Go ahead.
Do you know who dramatically made a big show of undermining Trump on the repealing of Obamacare?
I'm not going to let you I already listened to Trump disrespecting John McCain. I can't let you sit here and do it as well. And it's also making an excuse.
You don't have a choice. You don't have a.
Okay,
so you do know that it was John McCain.
Yeah.
But John McCain was John McCain respectful? Was John McCain respectful when he gave that big thumbs down after years of pretending like this Obamacare was, all the Republicans, including I think John McCain, pretended like Obamacare was this terrible thing, and then John McCain hates Trump even more, so he thumbs down the vote to repeal Obamacare.
Was he respectful?
Was that respectful or disrespectful?
It was respectful. Disrespectful would have been given the middle finger before the thumbs down. That would be disrespectful.
Come on, man.
I don't know. Or unless how could he have respectfully disagreed then, in your opinion?
Because he knew that repealing it was the right thing to do, but he hated Trump so much that he dramatically and disrespectfully thumbs downed it.
He knew that repealing it was the right thing to do?
Yeah.
Then why didn't he do that?
Because he hated Trump. And when you're a hateful person, you do the wrong thing out of spite.
That sounds like an answer based out of emotion and not logic.
Right. He was an emotional, not logical person at that point.
You said that John McCain hated Trump. You don't know what's in John McCain's heart or what was in his heart. How can you say that?
Out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. And John McCain spoke hatred toward Trump and his supporters. He said he brought out the crazies. Remember when he called the Trump supporters the crazies?
You don't think the select few of Trump supporters that McCain was referring to were crazies?
There are some crazy ones, but I don't know who he was referring to. He said he brought out the crazies.
McCain was referring to.
Huh?
I'm talking about the ones that McCain was referring to. You don't think that select group of Trump supporters were crazies?
I don't know, because I don't know who he was talking about.
Well,
he said he brought out the crazies.
You can't say that he was being rude and that he hated Trump for something that was truthful. Or something that you claim to not know about.
You're pretending that John McCain... Are you really going to sit there and pretend that John McCain didn't hate Trump?
I'm not pretending. John McCain did not hate Trump.
What? How do you figure? So John McCain loves Trump. John McCain loved Trump.
If you can hear Trump say I'm angry and say that you don't think he's angry, I can tell you that I can conclude that even though McCain never said he hated Trump, that he didn't hate Trump.
So do you
Case
believe?
closed.
Do you believe me when I say that I don't think that Trump? Do you agree with me that you don't think Trump was angry either?
I don't agree with you. I do believe that
So
you
then
don't
how are you?
believe it. I
How are
believe
you using
I'm not
something?
calling you a liar.
Hold on. How are you using something that I did that you don't even agree with or believe to justify you believing some crazy, insane thing like Trump doesn't hate Trump? I mean, McCain didn't hate Trump.
I'm trying to speak your language. We've
That's
never
not
heard
speaking my
McCain-
language. You're lying.
It's hard. Please don't interrupt. I literally said one thing. So when Trump comes out and says, "I'm angry,"
Yeah.
you're like, he said it, but I don't believe him.
Right.
That's one thing. And then on the other side, John McCain, who never said, "I hate Trump," you just use other words that he said and draw the conclusion that he hated Trump.
Right.
How is that fair?
How is it not fair? How is it not fair? Those are two completely different situations. Trump saying he's angry about, what's happening to the country when he has never really shown anger. He's never shown
anger. Oh my God.
And then you have McCain who showed nothing but anger and malice and nastiness and phoniness toward the people
and nastiness.
toward
Lord.
the people. He was for the immigration coming out of control. He was part of that Gang of Eight thing. I don't know if you were paying attention back then. But you're somewhat of a historian, right? You're an intellectual.
Yes.
You know your history. He was part of that Gang of Eight.
I don't know if you need to be putting me in those boxes, but go ahead.
He was part of that Gang of Eight stuff, pushing the immigration reform from the rhinos. He was calling Trump supporters crazies. He was demeaning Trump. So how is Trump the disrespectful one?
I didn't call Trump disrespectful.
You said I'm not going to let you. You said Trump disrespected John McCain, and I'm not going to let you disrespect John McCain.
He did.
How?
You don't remember him? I would say disrespecting the service that John McCain did for this country.
No, he did not disrespect the service.
Especially as somebody that dodged the draft.
You don't know that.
I don't know what.
You don't know that he dodged the draft?
Oh my God!
Why should he even join a draft for some dumb war that didn't even help anything?
Okay, so two things. One, just Google Donald Trump bone spurs. You'll find every article you need to find about him dodging the draft. Secondly,
but how do you know he didn't have bone spurs?
Let me finish. Secondly,
No, because you're making a claim. You're making a claim.
I'm not making a claim. I didn't write any of those articles.
I just told you to
draft. I just told you can Google it. You can look at the articles and decide for yourself.
Google it. You're making a claim that Google proves it. Google doesn't prove anything.
I didn't. Oh my God! I didn't make the claim. I told you specifically.
You made a claim that he dodged the draft.
You asked a question. You said, "How do I know he dodged the draft?"
Yeah.
And I said, "If you want to Google
Donald
Trump bone spurs, you will find every article you need."
So you don't know.
If you truly want to, I didn't research it. I didn't talk to anybody. I haven't talked to Donald Trump. All I can do is the same thing you do: read articles. I choose better sources than
so then you don't actually know.
In my opinion,
you don't actually know.
You don't actually know if John McCain hated Donald Trump, but you made that claim.
Yeah, I do. You can tell.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
You can assume. You can assume.
No, you can't assume.
But you
can
don't
tell.
know. You told me you just mentioned bone spurs and asked me if I know. How do you know that John McCain hated Donald Trump?
Are you admitting you don't actually know that he dodged? Are you admitting that you don't actually know that he dodged the draft?
I know more about that than you do about John McCain's heart and his affection or not towards Donald Trump.
How do you figure that you know more than I know? How do you figure that you know more than I know?
I'll put my sources on Donald Trump dodging the draft up against your sources on John McCain and his disdain towards Trump.
Just watching, I watched John McCain. I watched the source of John. I watched John McCain hating Trump.
You said John McCain was nasty and rude. John McCain gave us the second to last presidential debate that was actually civil.
Well, oh, Lord. You mean he lost?
I'm just saying.
He lost to Obama?
If you go watch the presidential debates, you can start. I don't care where you start.
Are you talking about when he lost to Obama?
You want to talk about presidents losing? I'm cool with that.
Are you talking about when McCain lost to Obama? I'm not changing.
I didn't want to sit the conversation.
You're trying to switch the conversation. You're pretending that McCain was this classy, civil person with Obama.
He was. Go watch the debates. How are you
falling for this phoniness?
Watch the debates between McCain and Obama. Watch the debates between Obama and Romney, and then watch Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, and tell me you don't see a huge shift. And then once we get to Trump and Biden, that's probably the worst presidential debate ever.
I saw realness from Trump. I saw nothing but phoniness and political correctness from from McCain and from Romney. That's why they lost. They're phonies.
You say so.
You don't know that they're phonies? I believe that.
I say that you say so. I'm not a Republican, so I'm the last one that'll be standing up and debating.
You don't have to be a Republican. You don't have to be a Republican to know that those two guys are phonies.
And you don't have to be a decent human being to know that John McCain gave us the second to last civil presidential debate. That's all I said, and you tried to argue with it.
Because that's dumb. That's a loser talk.
What's dumb? That they were civil when they were debating?
Yes.
So you want more of the clown show that we had when Biden and Trump ran, or when Trump and Hillary ran? You must, because you want to see Trump run against somebody else again.
You're calling it a clown show. Trump was real.
Trump was not real. It's a clown show. A clown show was when you got two people that are vying for one of the highest offices in the land, and they won't let the other person speak without interrupting.
I know what's going on.
I'm listening.
You have a spiritual blindness, I guess. I can only guess. I can only surmise that you have actually, I know this. You have a spiritual blindness that you are caught and blinded by your intellect and knowledge. And I don't know if you have this beef against President Trump and this beef against simple men against the simple truth from like Jesse Lee and Donald Trump, where you don't, you can't see. I think that's what it is.
Okay, so what am I not seeing?
Love and hatred, honesty and truth and lies, phoniness of people, the spirit of people. So like John McCain. You talking? So you're saying I've been spiritually blind about somebody else that we haven't discussed, or you're saying I'm spiritually blind when it comes to Donald Trump? You're spiritually blind on intellectualism. I think I think you're just blind on this.
Maybe. I'm not really sure what intellectualism is and how you define it and what its characteristics are. I use my brain.
Yeah.
If that makes me intellectual, then
right. So
I guess I'm intellectual.
Yeah. So like for example, you tried to use my standard of just because Trump says I'm angry at what's going on in the country doesn't mean that he's emotional or rattled or vindictive or spiteful, which we have not seen him. Well, I'm saying I'm explaining what I meant when I say Trump is not angry. Just because he says he's angry, it doesn't mean that he's angry. So you tried to use that and say, Trump said that he's angry and you don't believe it, but McCain never said he hated Trump, but you believe he hates Trump. Can't you? Most of the time, you can tell if somebody.
The logic there.
Most of the time, it's not a logic. It's not a logical statement.
It is logic. If a person says
no. Hold on, man. I'm trying to explain your spiritual blindness.
Yeah, you're taking a while, but go ahead.
I know. You're trying to use somebody's standards against them when you don't even agree with their standard.
I'm not using it against you. I'm trying to show you that your standard is off and it's terrible. Or you don't have
right.
One.
You're blind.
If somebody can clearly tell you, if somebody can clearly tell you they feel or they think point A, and you're like, I don't believe them, and then somebody else says nothing on the topic, you're like, you know what? I think you hate Trump. There's no logic behind that. It's all emotional.
I think most people can see that John McCain was the emotional man, not me, when I'm watching John McCain hating Trump.
Watch those debates and then see who's more emotional between McCain.
I do not care about McCain.
Quiet when somebody else
I do not want to watch.
And then listen to Trump be emotional.
Hold on.
When people are interrupting, it's an emotion. And that's what Trump does.
No,
So you can't say Trump's not emotional when he was emotional in all his debates, whether it was against a Democrat or a Republican. He's always emotional.
Do you not hear me when I talk? When I jump in, do you not hear me?
I do. I just wanted to get that off because it was only going to take you 20 seconds. I wasn't going to hold you captive for 2 minutes.
But when I'm talking, I'm not listening, so I'm not hearing what you're saying.
Well, if I'm talking and if you have to say, hold on, that means you know that I'm talking already, right?
Yeah, and that means that you stop talking because I'm asking you to hold on.
Imagine if Donald Trump did that. Go ahead.
Why are you trying to bash Donald Trump when you just did wrong yourself?
Donald Trump is the king interrupter. I figured that somebody that loves and admires Donald Trump as much as you do, you'd be okay with it.
No, but I was
especially
interrupting
when I don't really interrupt a lot. For the most part, especially when you and Jesse talk, I'm usually sitting on the phone quiet and I'll let you get your point off.
Are you aware of all the witnesses, since you're going to bash Donald Trump as a king interrupter, are you aware of all the witnesses who've said that Trump listens?
Trump does listen. There are times where he listens. I don't think that an interrupter is somebody that always interrupts 100% of the time and listens 0%. Come on, James.
So then why are you bashing him for being an interrupter? Are you bashing him?
Yes, he is an interrupter.
And so you're bashing him over that?
I'm not praising him for it. It's not something that's praiseworthy.
So then how come you're doing it?
Because you did too.
So I'm doing it and Trump did it, and so that makes
times than you did.
I know, but I'm doing it, and that's why you're doing it?
It's going to happen during the duration of a phone call that lasts this long. It's going to happen occasionally. I just know that
right, but when you heard me say, hold on. But when I said, hold on, you keep on going.
I only heard you say that once, and I only spoke for another 10 seconds, and then I stopped.
That's a long time.
10 seconds is a long time?
Yeah, especially when I didn't catch the first stuff that you were talking about.
Cool. So if I'm quiet and listening to you talk for 40-plus seconds at a time and you haven't done that yet, I think we can see out of the two of us which one would be next in line to be king interrupter.
I know, but I don't care about interrupting. But there's
right,
communication.
That's why I sit back. I guess that's why I sit back and listen a little bit more. I'm a better listener than you are, and I'm not as good of an interrupter as you are.
If you're a good listener, you're not a good hearer, though.
You can be both. Or you can be neither, or you can be good at one.
Right, you're not good at the other. You're not good at hearing.
I'm great at both of them.
How are you good at hearing if you don't really understand my point? Or
I understood your point. You were mischaracterizing it, because what I was saying to you was, if my child tells me that they're hungry, I'm not going to be like, you ain't hungry. And then if they don't say anything about food, I'm not just going to be like, hey, here's some food because I know you're starving. If somebody says something directly, you should take them at their face value, especially if they're like somebody like Trump and they're not a liar. If Donald Trump, who doesn't lie, according to you, says, I'm angry, how are you not going to believe he's angry?
Because there's an anger where you just see what's wrong with the country. But
so you don't Trump lying when he said he was angry?
What?
Was Trump lying when he said he was angry?
No.
So then he has anger, which means you should believe him. What the?
You're not making sense.
You're not making sense.
You didn't hear me.
I
just gave you the answer, but you didn't hear me.
Trump said he was angry.
Yeah, and I said there is an anger.
You believe him. He wasn't lying, but then you said he doesn't have anger.
Yeah, because there's an anger that you're not emotional. You just see that the country is messed up.
There's an anger that's not emotional?
Right.
That's a new one. So if somebody else...
you did not hear it. When I said it, you did not hear it. You're not as good of a hearer as you thought that you were.
I'm going to call Jesse tomorrow and ask him, like, hey, is anger always emotional, or is there some type of anger you can have that's not emotional? He's going to be like, what the? And I'm going to tell him what you said, and then it's going to be confusion. They might not even let me get on the call.
Who's they? You're just all in your imagination. And every single thing that you just said in your imagination and your prediction is wrong.
No. Maybe I shouldn't go that far with you. Maybe I should just give this to you, and I'll let you get the other call.
You went far enough already. You just predicted JLP is going to say, no, there's no such thing as anger that's not emotional.
There is no anger that's not emotional.
Which is a lie fed to you by your imagination.
There's no good anger.
They might not let me on.
Jesse already did shows about saying that there's no such thing as righteous indignation or righteous anger. All anger is bad. And then you just said that Trump can admit to being angry, but it's not emotional anger. Come on, bro.
Do you not know for yourself, or do you need Jesse?
Say what?
Do you not know for yourself, or do you need Jesse Lee?
I do. I think out of the two of us, I'm the one that's the more independent thinker. You don't hear me saying things that I got from my boss.
Do you know for yourself that there's no anger that's justified, or there's no non-emotional anger?
Say that one more time.
Do you know for yourself that there's no such thing as a non-emotional anger?
Yes. There's no anger that's not emotional, like you're trying to pass off.
Oh, okay. So when the Bible talked about God being angry, you think he was emotional?
When the Bible talks about God being angry, was he emotional? God is outside of this world. He's not capped to time, space, or matter, or emotions.
So he was not emotional.
No, God doesn't have emotions.
So when the Bible used that word,
definitely not human type emotions.
Yeah. So when that Bible used the word anger
even a day
on God, it was not an emotional anger.
No, and even when we talk about God in a day,
so then the word is not 20. So then the word anger.
Let me finish. A day to God is not 24 hours.
Right.
So when the Bible says this is what God did in a day, it doesn't mean the same thing. So when the Bible says God in quote unquote anger, please don't try to pass that off as Donald Trump anger or your anger or my anger or anybody else's. It's not the same thing.
Why not? Aren't we supposed to have the mind of God as Christians?
God is God and we are not.
We're not supposed to have the mind of God? Does he not give us the mind of God?
We don't have God's mind. We don't have his hands. We don't have God's abilities. We're not God. God is God.
I didn't say we are God. I asked, don't we have a renewed mind, the mind of God?
No. I don't know. Based on the information that I have right now, my answer to that is no. If you wanted to school me on it,
the point is the word anger doesn't mean emotional always.
The word anger doesn't always mean emotion. The word anger probably wasn't even in the original translations of the Bible. There might not even been a word for anger. So this is the semantics argument that I don't have with people that I told you I try to stay away from. But what I'm saying to you is you can't say that Donald Trump has anger and then say, but it's not emotional anger, so it's okay.
I didn't say that he did or didn't. I just said just because he said he's angry doesn't mean that he was angry.
You said his anger was not an emotional anger.
I said, I said that. Because I've never seen him emotionally angry.
So because you've never seen it means he doesn't have it?
Not that I've seen.
So because you haven't seen it means that he doesn't have it according to you.
He may not have it. I don't know.
That's the most honest answer you said today. You said you don't know. Earlier you were trying to tell me that you did know, that he didn't have anger, and then you changed it and said that his anger was not emotional. But I think we finally found the truth where you don't know. And that's okay.
Nor do you.
You're right.
Because just because he said it doesn't mean that he has it.
That's where I disagree with you.
Well, that's dumb. Because all kinds of people say all kinds of things, and it doesn't necessarily mean what you think it means.
But we're talking about Donald Trump here, quote unquote, our greatest president, quote unquote, the person that tells the truth. So if Donald Trump is an honest person in your eyes, why would he say something that's not true?
Because he's not thinking of anger when he says angry the way that you're thinking of anger.
He's not thinking.
It's a word. You're caught up in words.
Time,
this is the spiritual blindness I'm talking about, is that you're caught up in words. Oh, he said he's angry. He must be angry. Evil person, not our greatest president.
What? the logic is falling, man. I see you tried to defend him very well. You did a pretty decent job, I would say, of defending him. I know you got a strong adoration and admiration for him, but
you don't
label him as our greatest president, even since Reagan. That's wild.
How is it wild?
I wanted to hear how you would justify it. I didn't, and we kind of just didn't even get to that. We didn't get to Trump's record about what makes him better than Reagan.
Yeah,
he didn't repeal and replace Obamacare. He didn't repeal and replace Obamacare, but he's better than Reagan.
Reagan didn't do anything with Obamacare. He led to Obamacare.
Right. He didn't fix immigration either, because immigration's been a problem since Jesse was born.
Yeah, Reagan regretted it. Reagan regretted the amnesty.
Yeah, he spent 8 years in the White House and left this country in worse condition than he did when he inherited it. That's what I judge the president on.
Reagan did?
That was Reagan. Yeah, he. Now the country wasn't super great when he got it, thanks to Jimmy Carter. But the state of our union in 1979 was better than it was in 1989.
And so you blame the president for that?
Now let me ask you this: if it had been better in 1989 than it was in 1979, you would have given credit to Ronald Reagan.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, if he's going to get the credit, if he or she is going to get the credit when things are good, they got to get the blame when things are bad. You agree or disagree?
No, I don't care about either of those things, because the country is bigger than the president. I credit the president for how he is. And I saw Trump a man of truth on those things that I listed off in the beginning of the show and more.
A man of truth that can say he has anger and you don't believe him.
Yeah, because I'm not thinking the anger in the way that you're thinking. He may be
all
honest that he sees
all lies all the time.
You're a mess. You're caught up in words. You're an intellectual. You're just blind, Ronnie.
I told you, semantics arguments, you won't get in those things with me, even grammar.
Yeah, because you're going to weasel your way out of it because you don't actually believe anything that you're rattling back off to me about.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if somebody is grammatically incorrect or they use the wrong word, I'm not going to hold it against them, because I'm certain that I only know that because of the education I received. When somebody splits the infinitive, that's because of the education you received. If they didn't receive that, I'm not going to go into an argument with them because of what they did grammatically. I'm the last person you're going to get in a semantics argument with.
Huh? I don't understand your point here.
I don't argue with people about words or get hung up on words.
Yeah, you are. You just got hung up on the anger word.
Even earlier when you said atheistic versus atheist, I don't care nothing about no argument.
I know.
I
did that for Lin Yan Chin.
Yeah, right. My point is, I'm always going to have that energy towards anything when it's one word versus another, unless somebody really wants to sit down and have that conversation. But then they're going to have to pay me for my time, so it ain't really worth it. I don't get in arguments with people over words.
But you just
when
argue
they say
with
that
me
Donald
over.
Trump is an honest person.
Didn't you argue with me?
Didn't
you argue with me over Trump saying he's angry? And I said it doesn't necessarily mean emotional anger.
Those aren't words.
That's a word.
Argument was done.
Anger is a word, and you argue with me over him saying he has this word, and so you're assigning this meaning to this word that may not mean what you're thinking it means.
It could have. We could take the word anger out and put any other word in there.
Right. So you're arguing with me over the word.
And if I wouldn't. What I'm saying is if Donald Trump said anything, if he said, I am German, and you'd be like, I don't believe him. I'm like, well, if he said it, then I'm going to take him at his word, regardless of what word goes in there. But the fact that he used the word anger and you said, I don't like that word, so I'm going to say I don't believe him.
I didn't say I don't believe him.
And you said you don't believe him.
I said I don't believe he's angry. I don't think that he in the way that you're thinking.
Even though he said he has it.
See, you are blind to words. A volume too low?
If somebody says that they have something or they feel something or they are something, I'm going to take them at their word unless they're a proven liar.
Say that again. I was distracted. Somebody's saying volume too low.
You good. I said if somebody says that they are something or they feel something or they think something, I'm going to take them at their word unless they are a proven liar. Is Donald Trump a proven liar to you?
Nope.
So then why would you doubt what he says?
I don't doubt what he says.
You did. When he said that he had anger and you said, if you don't accept him at face value, you're doubting what he's saying.
I accepted at face value.
You being dishonest now.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that I don't believe that he has that spiritual anger or I haven't seen that spiritual anger just because he said that he's angry. Lots of people say, I'm angry about this.
Then okay, so then you would want to argue with him over his word. Too.
No, I'm not hung up on that word. You're the one who's hung up on the word that anger.
Trump spoke it. People believe it except you.
I don't know if people believe that even.
There's people that believe it because this isn't the first time that topic has come up. That topic came up weeks ago. I think it might even been quote unquote 2023 last year, where somebody brought that up, and you said, I don't believe it. I don't think he's angry, even though he said it.
Right, I'm the one who
said that. I was
am
like,
I not
what
the one who brought? I'm the only one who brought up that he said that he's angry.
I brought it up.
No,
today.
I brought it up long before that.
Which is what I just said.
Right.
That's what I just.
So I brought it up and saying it doesn't. Lin Yan Chin says this is a gotcha game. This is all blacks have. Just nine tenths of us.
Have.
Yeah, you're playing a gotcha game.
The only reason that I called you was for you to elaborate and explain why you think Donald Trump is our greatest president. But that was all I was calling you for.
You're not really hearing I don't think that you're really calling to understand.
I am. I think we went down a lot of rabbit holes based on the questions that you asked. But all I asked you, and when you play it back, you'll see. I asked you how you came up with the conclusion.
I'm not playing anything back. Just hearing this conversation once is enough for me.
You don't ever go back and listen to your old shows?
Sometimes I might check out like the beginning. I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting. Or next.
Yeah. Well, this conversation is probably longer than it might be the longest one you had on the Hake report.
Might be.
So it might be one that you revisit. That's what I'm saying to you.
Why would I revisit it? You're the one who's blind. It's mind-numbingly.
If I say you might do something, that doesn't mean that I think you are. And even if I say you are going to do something, you might do the exact opposite. I don't have jurisdiction over you. But
right.
When I
Nor do you have jurisdiction over what it means when Trump says that he's angry.
Me either. And you don't have jurisdiction over John McCain's heart and his affinity or
I don't have jurisdiction over it, but I can plainly see that did John McCain hate Trump? Press 1. Press 2 if he loved Trump. Press 3 if you don't know. I think you're the only person on earth who doesn't know that John McCain hated Trump.
So it's hard for me to say that anybody hates anybody, especially if they didn't come out and say it. Now, if
all the things that he says that speaks to that doesn't. Anyway, I gotta run, man.
For sure. I'm just telling you. I don't draw conclusions based on assumptions, and it seems like you like operating in that arena.
But you already have an assumption about the word that Trump used, and you had an assumption about the draft dodging thing. Whereas
I assumed nothing in either one of those topics.
Yeah, those are assumptions.
Those are both topics that have been studied.
And you had an assumption that John McCain is a good man or something like that because he was civil with Obama.
I said he was. All I said about him was that he was civil.
No wonder we're losing.
Civil, so that's a fact.
No, that's not good.
He was civil, and I called him civil.
Civil is girly.
This was fun.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun seeing you. If you take other questions on how Trump was better than McCain or how Trump was better than Obama, but I'll be here for it.
Oh, okay. All right, Ronnie. Take care.
Yes, sir. Have a good week.
Bye. So with that logic, stop saying the whites hate the blacks. Yeah, he's not one that pushes that thing, but he believes in the racism thing. Why is Hake falling for this? All right. What a mess. Let me double check for any remaining super chats that have come in. Lin Yan Chin, yeah, I did read your super chat about in regards to the AI super chat intellectuals. Well, what did he say? AI. Intellectuals have proto-AI since they only run on input of trusted sources and have no real sense of understanding, which is why they're always missing context. This means, yes, AI serves insecurity, also known as Satan or sin. Oh, yeah, because that's very relevant to that call just now. Lin Yan Chin. The AI, intellectuals are prototype AI. They only run on input of trusted sources. Because the caller who I just talked to says, well, my sources are better than yours, I think. Data. He's in the data. You have any statistical data, or is it just emotional? your judgment of Trump as our greatest president. That sounds like an intellectual. So to explain an intellectual, between Linya and Chin's explanation and me, sources, more input, knowledge, and hanging on to words and being rigid on the meaning of that word. And then we cannot be godly. We cannot have the mind of God because we are not God. What a mess. That's not a man of faith, I guess. That's not a man of faith. An intellectual. Here's an intellectual. Someone bought a coffee. Are you seriously suggesting that Trump was referring to some other type of anger when admitting that he himself had anger? He was not admitting that he himself had anger in terms of, I'm such a terrible person, I have anger. Or, he showed an angry face talking about how he's angry about what's going on in America. You tried to pull Ronnie down to a semantics argument. No, he was the one arguing semantics. And get him off his square when he was making points. When you can't defend your argument and all else fails, Hake just starts calling the other person blind. Oh, okay, that's another blind person. Not seeing that Trump is real, McCain is fake, Romney's fake, Obama's fake. Reagan was, I don't know. I can't really comment on Reagan. I wasn't really there. George W. Bush is fake. George H.W. Bush is fake. And did you seriously go to your chat for validation on McCain's stance? No, McCain's hatred for Trump. Did chat even respond? 1s, 3s, and 2s. Lauren Krause gave it 2. What? I see mostly 1s. L-U-L-Z. What does L-U-L-Z mean? Carver bought a coffee. Ronnie has a point. John McCain made a major contribution to our society. He personally taught the American anchor baby how to land an airplane during the early days of Nickstream. Really? From the grave. Is this true? Or are you just being silly, Carver, with your coffee? Mays will always hold the record for the longest call with Hake. Really? Did I go 40 minutes with Mays? And guys, guess what? I actually have to end. I have no idea. I just pressed 2, said Lauren. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because it's pretty clear that John McCain was a hater. Okay. I don't know if I have any time. Spoiler alert. Thank you, man. Okay. I gotta end. This is Menomena Monday, guys. Menomena Monday. Enjoy Strongest Man in the World and catch Joel Friday TV next. Yes, it does feel like I'm ending early, but it's actually on time because it's a 6-minute song. And Joel Friday TV is coming up at 11 a.m., guys. Catch you tomorrow, hopefully. If not, that's okay. See you soon. Bye. What a vibe. Oh. So good. It's working. I thought I addressed you, Charlie Church and Kevin Howe. I thought I explained it. Good episode of the Ron Report. Loving the drummer. Menomena Mondays. Iron. Fake RJD2? Kinda. And they're Christians, guys. John McCain did crash some planes, says Carver. Poor show today, but we'll be back, says Clarence. Thanks for bearing with me, Clarence. Again, Joel Friday TV. And then American Anchor Baby, guys. Those are not female vocalists. Those are both men. All three are men. Oh, there might be a woman. I don't know. Guys. I guess I better vacate this seat about now. Adios, America. Friday's way.